Hello and good afternoon. My name is Shaniqua Williams. I am a special education teacher in the state of Delaware, middle school to be specific. In this video, I will do a quick review of the IEP process in terms of, or at least from the perspective of a parent. So, what is an IEP to begin? An IEP, or Individualized Education Plan, is a legal document that outlines accommodations, modifications, specific supports, and aids that will help your young scholar be successful in school and access the general education curriculum to the best of his ability in a least restrictive environment, or LRE. Before your child can receive an IEP, they have to get a referral. Now, by law, we have something called Child Find that usually screens for students, all students, to see if they have a disability. However, um, let's say he was not discovered through Child Find, and a social worker, a psychologist, a teacher, even you, the parent, had concerns about their behavior or education. So you requested an evaluation or referral to special education services. Okay, that's the great first step. Now that has been taken, the IEP team um, evaluates the students through a series of battery tests, functional behavior assessments, and other tools to see if they are eligible for IEP special education services. But let me backtrack a second. Before we even get there, we're going to make sure that in his classroom, he's receiving high quality curriculum that is evidence based and highly researched and peer reviewed. Once this requirement is met and your child still has struggles, then we're going to try something in our multi-tiered system of supports, which is like extra tutoring, tools that he can use to be successful, such as mnemonic devices, any type of intervention that can help your child be successful in class. If this is found to still not be beneficial to your child, then we're gonna go on to the special education process. And it's important to remember that while we are checking on the quality of the curriculum and implementing other interventions, your child can and still will be evaluated throughout this entire process. Now that your child has been evaluated, it has been determined that they are indeed in need of an IEP and specialized programming. So, what's an IEP? Well, the IEP is a legal document that outlines how your child will be serviced. It starts off with their strengths, all the data and reports that were used to determine, first of all, their baseline performance, formerly known as their PLEP or present level of education performance. And then, based on that PLEP and the data collected, we're going to develop annual goals for your child. And with these annual goals, they're going to have 4 benchmarks in which we track what your child is doing and what steps and activities we're doing to help your child make progress towards their annual goal. And adjustments to the goal may or may not be made based on this progress monitoring. Additionally, inside of the IEP, you might find information like transportation concerns, your child's involvement in the general education curriculum and extracurricular activities, their least restrictive placement, or LRE, any other services or supports that they may need, and transitional planning. Now that they have an IEP has been developed by the IEP team, and you as a parent can be involved in this process too, and it's strongly encouraged, as well as your child. It is also encouraged that the child be invited to the meeting and participate in the transition survey planning as well. Like, it's going to help them think about their future and be an advocate for themselves. So now that the IEP is done, we're going to host an IEP meeting. Now, before the actual IEP meeting comes, you're going to receive prior written notice letting you know and an invitation that the meeting is being commenced and that we think that your child may need IEP services or is being considered for continuation of already existing services. When the meeting begins, everybody's going to introduce themselves. Some norms are going to be established. We're going to discuss your rights and procedural safeguards to make sure that you and your child receive all the services required by the IDEA law. And then everybody's going to sign off on everything. And then we're going to go through the steps of the IEP. All those different parts of the IEP that I had previously discussed, we will go through those one by one. Then everybody's going to discuss, all the teachers and all the people who are part of the IEP team are going to discuss some of the strengths of the students and other concerns. And we're going to take that into consideration and use that to adjust the IEP if needed, if that information wasn't previously provided in a parental or teacher input form. Finally, if the IEP is in agreement with everybody, we're going to give it to the parent to sign, and once they sign it, it has 10 days to be implemented. If they don't agree with it, we're going to work with them and try to find like a middle ground that's appropriate for serving that child. Now, once the IEP is implemented, the child is going to constantly work with a special education teacher to help meet their benchmarks and goals to help your child overcome the challenges they may be having in school. An annual review of their IEP in which their goals may be adjusted or they receive completely new goals because they have mastered their previous goals. In some cases, some kids may transition completely off an IEP or receive less and less services or goals that need to be met because of their success. And that is the dream we have for every child. Although it does not happen for every child is unique. Our goal is for everyone to be successful based on their own individual needs. Thank you, and I hope this was helpful.